Modrich?
Modrich.
Gigi Modrich.
Yeah.
So, where are we speaking? Where are you talking from today?
I am in the DMV, which is, I guess, local speak for District of Columbia, Maryland, Virginia.
Okay.
Department. Yeah, so I'm in Virginia right now, but we all say the DMV since you cross state lines so often.
Well, I think I'd heard that before. So, I guess, very first off, I guess, tell us about yourself and, just kind of your background and how you ended up getting into stand-up comedy.
Oh my gosh, I mean that's such a big question. Let's see here. So my name's Gigi, and I am. Let's see here. I don't even know, how do I start? So I'm Jicarilla Apache. I am a Indian law practitioner. So I do lawyering in the day and comedy by night. It's such a cliche. But what else is there? I don't know. I feel like comedy is really a part-time job at this point. So I wish I had more hobbies and more interesting things about myself. But really, it's just like trying to make money to live, with my day job, and then trying to make waves in the comedy scene so I can eventually quit my desk job. But I know you asked how I got into comedy. I'd always wanted to do it. Like I'd always wanted to act or model or do something where I'm showcasing myself, my talents to the world. And comedy was one of those things I wanted to do, but my parents were very they were scared that if I went into the arts that I wouldn't be able to move out, and they didn't want me there past 18. So I went into law school and became a lawyer. So they're pretty proud of that. They're happy with my decisions, and mostly happy they don't have to send me money. So, but getting into comedy, I think I mentioned this in the Native News Online interview. Basically, when I was 35, I was going through a really, really tragic and tumultuous divorce, and my ex seriously took everything. And it's just because I didn't fight. I was just so broken. And so when you find that you lose everything, you also lose your sense of shame and your sense of caring about what other people think. So that was the perfect time to start stand-up comedy.
Wow.
It really was.
So just kind of, it sounds like it was sort of, what is the word I'm looking for? Surreptitious that comedy, that the opportunity to do comedy came along at the same time.
Yes. It was. Well, I'd wanted to do it for a number of years, even as I started my law career. But there was just no time. There was just no time for it. I was trying to be a good wife and do the whole cook and clean and thing, but also make all the money and stuff. And so it just wasn't, I had no time. So, you get rid of a husband, you've got a lot of time on your hands, lady.
This is very true.
Lots of me time, So I finally, and I needed something to save me. I needed something to hold on to, and I needed to laugh. And so that's why I went into it as well. And I don't know, comedy writing is, I think, very similar to legal writing. like you have to be quick and to the point. You have to be concise. And so it just was a kind of a natural fit to go into comedy writing. And and I was able, just for 1 year, but it's 1 year more than other people. For 1 year, I was a contributor to The Onion, and that is like such a point of pride for me that like they accepted and printed some jokes that I sold to them. So it's been, I love writing. I love comedy writing.
Very nice. So I guess taking a step back, you mentioned being Jicarilla Apache. Where were you born and raised, and then kind of tell us a little more about your the early days.
Yeah. So my mom, so I have a joke in my sets. It's like my mother's Jicarilla Apache, which is a type of Indian tribe. My father is Croatian, which is a type of white person. Nobody really knows what that combination should look like. So for most people, I am a tall Mexican. So, so my mom, we're those Indians that like, those Indians that are like 100% Indian, but not Indian enough in any one tribe.
Yes.
to meet membership requirements. Yeah. So my mom is the native in me, and she has Jicarilla, Mescalero. We have Otomi, which is down in Mexico, and Mayan blood, and you got to pick one, right? So
yeah.
When I'm an Air Force brat. And so I kind of grew up. I was born in Michigan, and moved to Ohio, and then moved to New Mexico. And while we were living in Ohio, we started to go back to the reservation in Dulce, New Mexico, for at least Gojia, which is, an annual. It's an annual secret run. So, well, I don't know if you've been to Gojia, but
I'm familiar.
Yeah, so we used to go back for that and to see the family up there. And then when I started practicing law, I actually got to represent. I was part of the general counsel that my tribe had hired to represent the tribe. And it's funny because, like, when tribes hire lawyers and they work for the tribe, that's called in-house lawyers.
Yeah.
And then tribes also hire large law firms, which is, I worked at a large law firm to do general counsel, but that's called outside counsel. But my tribal council called us outhouse lawyers, and I freaking love that. I love that.
Bit of a backhand compliment.
Yeah. So I got to be outhouse counsel for my tribe for 7 years.
Nice.
And that was really fun. Like, not being like a tribal member, but still being able to help and like see family and friends, and also advocate for your tribe was so valuable and priceless as far as my career goes.
So tell me how the originals all native comedy show kind of came together.
Yeah, so there's this really cool. She's half Hawaiian, and I forget her other tribe. Like she's got a lower 48 tribe in her. There's this cool comedian. Her name is Jicarilla, and she does the show called Good Medicine, and she's over in California. And it's all native comedians, and she picks a charity and raises money for that charity, and she's been producing these shows all throughout COVID, at least, like since 2020. And I saw her doing that, and I was like, I want to do that. I want to do something like that. And also there's these 3 comedians. I'm gonna space on their names. I know it's like Tyler Clare, Brian Bahe, and Dash Turner. Like, they have a show called Thanks But No Thanksgiving. And they had me on it, and it's just this really irreverent, tongue-in-cheek show to kind of poke fun at stereotypes and mainstream American understanding of Native peoples and Native culture. And so with these two shows, it's all Indians and it's all comedians, and I have not seen so much irreverence. Like, you're starting to see that now, like with Reservation Dogs, like Dallas Goldtooth's ancestor character. Like, you're starting to see like all these kind of irreverent, playful ways to talk about our cultures. But I'd never seen it. And I did. Once I saw it, I wanted to do it. So I did, and I put a call out to the Native comedian community, which came together during COVID as well. Like, there were some small blessings from the pandemic, and one was connectivity of people. And so I put a call out and I said, hey, does anyone in the DC area want to do this show? And I had a few comedians respond that they would like fly to DC or come to DC from where they were to do the show. So that's how we got Jamar Hall and Shea Vassar, and then it's me and Ixchel, and then I'm going to butcher her name. I got to figure out how to say it because I'm the host of the show, but Adrianne Chalepah, is that it? Do you know how to pronounce her name properly?
I am not sure myself, no.
But, like, I'm going to figure that out, one. And two, she's going to be on it. She was in Reservation Dogs and has done a lot of really cool stuff with her artistic career. So we're all coming together, and we all do our sets. There's no content restriction, right? Like, there's no requirement that the Native comedian do, air quotes, Indian jokes or jokes about being Native or the reservation or their culture. What I want to do is show people Native comedians. And if they want to do jokes about dating, that's what they do their jokes about. Like, I want to show Native people doing comedy like any comedian would be, doing comedy. So it's going to be a cool show. And at the end of the show, we do this segment called Ask an Indian. And it's like at 15 minutes, 20 minutes, we leave at the end of the show. All the comedians come on stage. We have a microphone, and then we ask the audience. We tell the audience, look, I know you got questions, and I know you might think your questions are dumb, and they probably are, but this is a judgment-free space for you to ask that question you've always wanted to ask an Indian, but never got a chance to ask. So we've had fun hearing the questions from the audience. I think the best one I got last time we did the show is some guy raised his hand and he got the mic and he's like, hey, I am Puerto Rican. Does that make me an Indian? And, they're the Taino people from Puerto Rico. But my response was a legal response. I was like, well, legally, no. According to federal law, no, you are not an Indian. Next, So it's been kind of cool.
So how many shows have you produced so far with this series?
Oh, with the series, you're going to be so sad to hear that this is only the second show of the originals.
Oh no, everything's got to start at some point. So,
yeah.
But I just wanted to make sure that we got that out there. That if it's not the first time, then definitely.
This is the second time, but it's the first time it's going to be in a theater, and
Oh, okay.
during a comedy festival. Last time we did it in a restaurant with that had a performance area, and that was it. But now we're actually going to have like a marquee that has our name in a theater, so it's going to be nice.
So do you see, is this kind of obviously this is kind of a next step forward? Where do you kind of see the series going? I mean, are you gonna, is it kind of staying with the comedy festival, or do you kind of see it maybe turning into something larger?
Yeah, nobody's asked me that question, but now I want it to be something larger. Now that you've asked the question, I name dropped Jackie Kali'a. Her show's just freaking brilliant, and it started out on Zoom, and then she got like this huge venue, and now theaters are sponsoring her show. So she's taking her show to New York in February. And I'm trying to figure out how to get her connected to the Kennedy Center so she can bring it to Washington, D.C. But, yeah, I should work on that for my own show, right? I'm in the middle of, like, a life change. I'm trying to move to L.A. so that I can pursue comedy more seriously.
Ooh, okay.
So I think maybe once I get settled, once I get out there, it's proving more of a challenge than you would think. But once I get out there, I think I'd like to get this going again, because we have so many Native comedians who are like writers for television shows, and just out in LA also trying to do their thing. I think it'd be a lot easier to get a deeper bench. I love the comedians who are on the originals. Don't get me wrong, they're fantastic, but like I like the idea of doing the show again and again, but highlighting different Indigenous people.
Well, it seems like there's a lot of options. It seems like you have in terms of theming different shows, and like you said, kind of you could get, different. You could get just a kind of a grab bag of comedians one time, and then another time it could be kind of a theme, or go with a specific group. You could do a horse culture show.
Yeah, I was just thinking like we could get First Contact, and like, man, that would be a fiery show, right? Like get a bunch of East Coast Indians on the mic. Whew. So.
Well, wow. Well, good luck with the transition. Are you? Obviously you're gonna keep the day job going, or is this the big jump?
No, it's the day job. So that's why it's so complicated, because I'm trying to get the day job, because I currently I work for the federal government right now, and man, I really like health insurance. Like it's pretty clutch. So. Yeah. I can't take advantage of IHS. Not that anyone would want to, or even call it taking advantage. But yeah, I kind of need the benefits.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your time. I guess, was there anything else that you wanted to add about yourself or the show, or anything else? I don't think so. No, I just really I thank you for having me, and hopefully folks can get out to Silver Spring, Maryland on February 8th if they're in the area, if they're in the DMV, and check out the originals and ask us our questions. Yeah.